Hey, Bobby here, and do you freeze up when it's time to make a move with a woman? Does the thought of getting sexual with a woman secretly scare the shit out of you? That's what we're gonna discuss in this video. So I remember shaking, like almost uncontrollably shaking, when I was walking into my bedroom with this girl, Tracy. She was hot. She had reminded me of Ali Larter's character. I don't know if you remember the movie Varsity Blues. Well, she was young, hot, and wild, and all I felt like was an inexperienced chump. So I was like shaking, like literally shaking, and I kept having to feel like I had to pee. Like in my head, I was like, stay cool, motherfucker, stay cool. But I was far from cool. Finally, she picked up on it. She goes, are you all right? I kind of like nodded and grinned, and then I like fumbled my hands onto her breasts, and I'm just like, at this point, just nervous wreck. I don't remember much after that. I can tell you this, it wasn't good though, I know that much. I know I didn't give her like the pounding that my friends were expecting me to do since she had followed me into the bedroom. The next morning, I had to do the walk of shame with my roommates. You know, they'd been prying me for information. You know, did you bang her? Like, what was she like naked? Was it good? You know, I had to go, no, I didn't. And they were like, dude, she was all over you. How did you possibly mess that up? I probably muttered some excuse, right? You know, the truth itself was like too embarrassing. The truth was, I was scared shitless. Tracy was hot, and she obviously, you know, knew what she was doing, right? She was experienced. And I felt like a clumsy 14-year-old boy touching his first pair of titties, even though I was in my early 20s. There's some things that you don't admit to your friends, right? And being fucking scared to get a hot chick naked is definitely one of them. At that point, I had a girlfriend, right? I had had sex. It wasn't like I was a virgin, but I still felt like a phony, even, you know, every time that I was with a girl that was hot, right? Or that in my head I thought was more experienced than I was. So back in college, I became the guy who talked girls to sleep on his bed. Like literally, I'd get a girl to my room, and then I'd be so scared to make that move, I'd stay up all night talking with her until we both like fell asleep cuddled, right? And I did not, you know, I didn't have the verbal game back then that I have now, right? So I cringe thinking of the boredom and the disappointment that I put these poor girls through, because trust me, it wasn't good. There's something that it's called sexual anxiety, and I had a bad case of it. I had only kissed one girl in high school, right? So when I got to college, I lived in fear of being discovered as a virgin. Like it was just this fear in my head, and that fear kept me a virgin way longer than I probably should have been. I discovered a few ways to overcome this, and I want to talk about them in case you're suffering from sexual anxiety. Number one, find girls who are equally inexperienced, right? My first girlfriend was also a virgin, and this eased the shame a little bit. However, it's not a great plan, especially, you know, if you're older and virgins aren't really out there that much. So I dated her more for security than love or attraction, and I don't recommend you do this because you'll wind up in a relationship with a girl that you're really not into. Number two, practice on fat girls. Yeah, I know, it's definitely not a politically thing to say, but I did it though, right? For some reason, my anxiety subsided if I wasn't really worried what the girl thought of me. And, you know, doing a decent job in a sack with a fat girl built up confidence in my mind a bit. Like, you know, I kind of looked at it like, hey, you got to practice for the big game, you know? I also don't recommend this because you become known as the guy who sleeps with fat girls, and there's nothing wrong with fat girls if you're into them, but if you're not, it kind of drains your self-esteem after a while. Number three, actively work on the anxiety. I read books, I talked to friends, and most effectively, I used guided visualizations. This is where I would sit for like 10 minutes and just visualize the whole process of sleeping with a girl. And I did it over and over. And the more you do it, the more your brain begins to feel comfortable when you're in the real situation. There's a ton of research. I don't want to bore you with it in this, but it's true. A few months ago, I was reading through my emails from students, and I realized that a lot of guys were suffering from the same sexual anxiety. So I wrote up some guided visualizations, set them to music, and then I had a professional hypnotist record them. These walk you through different dating situations where you might feel anxiety in. And they really help you build confidence. They work. I I'm a living proof that they work. You can download them at unlockherlegs.com/visualize. Now, you'll also find a link in the description. Now, you can listen to these once a day, twice a day for 21 days, and I guarantee you start feeling a lot more comfortable and confident in the situations that used to scare you, right? I have a handful of them. Give them a shot. You can click the link in the description or go to unlockherlegs.com/visualize. And I also, if you haven't already, I recommend subscribing to this channel because every Wednesday we put out a new video that tackles another area that, you know, guys tend to struggle in. I've been coaching this stuff now for 11 years. I work with about 12 clients a week, one-on-one. So I kind of have a good grasp of what's going on in guys' heads and how to overcome those challenges. So subscribe, check out the video, and I will see you in the next video.